Okay, hi. This is James back for my second video. Hopefully a much shorter one. This is just going to be a top 10. And I was talking with a friend of mine on what I should do for my next video because I was working on a couple of lists. The other one that I didn't pick will be my third one, hopefully, again. This one is my top 10 directorial debuts. First movies out of the gate for a particular director. Now, whether they were an actor before getting into directing, or they were a second unit director, or visual effects, it's just their first theatrical or big movie. So, I'll get right into it. With number 10. Number 10 is David Dobkin, who you might know from Wedding Crashers, Fred Claus, The Judge. Great movies. His first one would still be my favorite of his, and it's a movie called Clay Pigeons. And it's a, I don't know what to say, they're offbeat, black comedy, dark material, but a serial killer, and it's probably one of the best. It stars like Janine Garofalo, Vince Vaughn, Joaquin Phoenix, Scott Wilson, and it's probably my favorite. Might be my favorite of each of those actors' movies, just because they're all in it together and they do such a good job. It's such a well done mystery, thriller, comedy. It's such a good movie. Number 9, we have Shane Carruth, and his movie is Primer. Now, he's only done a couple of films, but his debut film, the other one was Upstream Color, which I haven't watched yet, but his debut film is a time travel movie called Primer. Now, it's a very, very, very low budget film, cost about $7,000 to make, won Sundance, and it's probably one of the better and more original time travel movies that's probably out there, and it's certainly the one that costs the least. Now, Shane Carruth is the writer, the director, probably the producer, but he's also one of the stars of the movie. And just the way they play with time and going back in time, not so much the butterfly effect, but being able to go back and influence and change past events without showing any big flashy time travel effects is just incredibly creative. Number 8, we have Danny Boyle. And Danny Boyle, who has done so many different films in so many different genres. Both the Trainspotting films. I haven't seen his most recent one. There's a couple of his I haven't seen. I haven't seen his most recent one, which was the alternate reality Beatles music film. Can't remember the name of it at the moment. And I haven't seen Millions, but 28 Days Later, Slumdog Millionaire, as I said, both Trainspotting films, A Life Less Ordinary, The Beach. But his debut film was one where he began his working relationship with Ewan McGregor, and there was a movie called Shallow Grave. Ewan McGregor, Kerry Fox, and Christopher Eccleston. And it's one of those, kind of like a bag of money lands in their lap, and if they turn it in, well, it's not exactly clean money, so they could turn it in, or they could keep it, or they think they may get in trouble if they turn it in, but if they keep it and not tell anybody, so it's a cat and mouse kind of thing between the 3 roommates. Now it's great what they did with their flat, their apartment, where they constructed it to be bigger than it actually is, just for the sake of shooting it, because about 99% of the movie takes place in this apartment. But it's super tense, very funny, very dramatic. Just a great debut from a director who would go on to be an amazing director. Although you could argue that he started out as an amazing director. All right, number 7, we've got David Slade. Now, his probably still my favorite of his would be 30 Days of Night, the vampire film based on the graphic novel. He did one of the Twilight movies, Eclipse. But his first movie, and he's done several episodes of TV, but his first movie was a movie called Hard Candy. And that was a film with Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson. And this is another one where it might be the best movie that either of those two actors have been in, and they were in it together. Because the acting, the writing are just out of this world. Just the way I think Ellen Page deserved a nomination for Hard Candy over Juno, because I didn't think very highly of Juno. And Patrick Wilson, who can just do almost anything. The back and forth between these two is just insane. And the set design, because this is another one where like 99% takes place in this one certain house, and the way they use the set was pretty awesome. All right, number 6, we've got Rob Zombie, who I love all but one of his films. And for someone who's such a talented musician to cross over to film and become an instantly super talented director is a very rare gift, if you ask me. Now, I love his version of Halloween, love his version of Halloween 2, especially the director's cut. Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell, 31 is amazing. And the only one I don't like of his is Lords of Salem, mostly because it's just out of left field. I don't think it makes much sense. But his, probably still my favorite of his, is his debut. And that was a film called House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, this is the one where I remember seeing the preview in the theaters, and it super psyched for it, and then it was 3 years before it came out because of the whole Universal Disney movie getting shelved, and then Lionsgate finally picking it up, and then finally gets released. Joke in the trailer was, this movie isn't being released, it's being unleashed, and they had said it's an homage to, I think, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I don't know if it was like the homage to Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, or the set they used was that. I can't remember. But you get Bill Moseley's debut as Otis, Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding, Chris Hardwick in there. Just awesome. Sherry Moon Zombie as Baby. Just an awesome, very creepy, very out of this world horror movie. Number 5, we've got James McTeague. He was a second unit director for a long time for the Wachowskis and several other directors. And when he made his debut, and like he's done some since, like Ninja Assassin, a movie called Survivor, The Raven, but his debut was a movie called V for Vendetta, based on a graphic novel, probably a masterpiece of film to graphic novel translation in the vein of Watchmen and 30 Days of Night, that kind of thing. Just outstanding performances and direction across the board. Agent Smith. His name escapes me at the moment. Why can't I remember his name? Natalie Portman. And just insanely good movie. Number 4, we've got Eli Roth, who of late hasn't exactly stuck to his horror roots with House of the Clock on Its Walls and Death Wish, but leading up to that and the way he started was very strong with horror movies, because he did Hostel, Hostel Part 2, Green Inferno, Knock Knock, as I said, Death Wish, House of the Clock on Its Walls. But the movie he started with was a movie called Cabin Fever. I remember watching this one and having a blast in the theater. Absolute blast. And I can't mention it without bringing up what the horrible thing they did to his script with the remake. Don't watch it. Avoid it. Avoid it even more than you've been told to avoid the remake of Martyrs, because this was just like they took the script and sucked all the fun out of it. Cabin Fever. Cabin Fever is awesome. So much fun. And if you can get your hands on the DVD, not the Blu-ray. Well, the Blu-ray, sure. But the DVD has 5 different commentaries on it. And I remember I watched this movie 5 times in one day just to listen to all 5 commentaries, because I just wanted to learn so much about this movie. Number 3, we've got Troy Duffy. Now, Troy Duffy's only done 2 movies, and they're both amazing. And those are the Boondock Saints, which is his debut, and the Boondock Saints to All Saints Day. The Boondock Saints, now I claim credit for spreading this movie around the majority of the Humber College residents, because I would just keep bringing people into the lounge with my VHS tape and watching it. I remember seeing this preview on a VHS copy of Dogma, because that was Lionsgate, and the preview was just out of this world. I'm like, I have to see this movie, and I watched it, and I have to watch this movie again. And just, I don't remember what year of college it was, but probably across a couple years of college. I just had to keep spreading the word on this film. Okay, let me see. Okay, number 2, we've got Bryan Bertino. Now, Bryan Bertino, again, has only done a couple of movies, 2 or 3 movies, but the one he started out with was a movie, not so much dubbed a horror movie, but it was almost dubbed a terror movie. And it's a movie called The Strangers. Loosely based on actual events, but you basically got Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, a couple spending the night out at his family's house almost in the middle of nowhere, and they get attacked by these 3 strangers in masks for no reason at all, apparently. And it's them trying to survive the night. And this movie is like low budget, high quality, and just one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And if you can watch the sequel, because the sequel isn't quite as creepy as the original, but it is so much fun. But not done by the same director. But still, he honored Bryan Bertino with his version. Now, number 1 is Rian Johnson. Now, say what you will about his Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. I still thought it was awesome. Knives Out is great. Looper, an amazing time travel movie. The Brothers Bloom. I remember not wanting to watch the movie because I'd seen the preview so many damn times. But once I saw it, it's awesome. Like a crime comedy kind of thing. But his first movie was a crime mystery drama thriller called Brick. And it's basically, they liken it to Dashiell Hammett, which I'm not that familiar with, but it's sort of like those detective novels. And you just basically take a detective mystery, and translate it to the high school setting. And that's what you've got. And you've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt acting his ass off in this movie. Noah Segan. Oh, man. Not a lot of well-known actors in this movie, nor is a Hetner. Not a lot of well-known actors in the movie beyond Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but just one of, or in my opinion, probably the best directorial debut, at least in my opinion. Just so well written, so well acted, and just the story so original. And just the fact that it's high school students instead of like just like a big like grown-up detective PI setting just makes it all the more, and it doesn't seem weird, the fact that it's high school students, because it's so well done. All right, well, I said I'd keep this short, so thank you for watching. Hope you liked my second video, and I hope you had the patience to sit through it. All right, toodles.